I'm going to talk a little about the NBA, as the NBA has recently announced their return to play plan for the 2020-21 season. Also might give an idea for the NHL as well. Hi there, it's Brett Hornby here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. As the other day, the NBA actually has announced their plans to return to play for the 2020-21 season, as the NBA is looking to return to play starting on December 22nd, with training camps beginning on December 1st. And also recently they made headlines that the NBA was going to have the shortest off-season from when the championship was awarded, that the Los Angeles Lakers won the NBA championship in 6 games against the Miami Heat just at the beginning of October. But with the off-season being just over 70 plus days long, it would be the shortest off-season, shorter than the NHL with their lockout shortened seasons, when the Stanley Cup was awarded just a little later, with the following season starting on time. But the other interesting thing with the NBA's plan is that they're looking to start the season on December 22nd and have a 72-game season, and have the idea of having the championship awarded just before July 23rd, which is when the Olympics are scheduled to start. Well, scheduled to are being the key words, but we don't know as at this point, and it's looking still less and less likely that the Olympics could start in Tokyo, but the NBA is planning for that. But keep in mind that the NBA, their full season is 82 games. So there's still other things that they're still working on in terms of how the schedule is going to look. And, of course, will there be fans being allowed at the game? As well as Canada's team, the Toronto Raptors. Or the heck are they going to play? I know that Kansas City was already rolling out the red carpet, that they'll be more than happy to host home games, as you know, with the border closure still in effect with the Canada-US border. And I do not think it's going to open anytime soon, even if there is a change at the top. And it is looking more likely that Joe Biden is ultimately going to win the election. But I still think that the border is not going to be open anytime soon, especially with cases rising on both sides of the border, so that, you have to subject the Toronto Raptors on what they're going to do. And it's easy to, play them somewhere else temporarily, because they're the only Canadian team in the National Basketball Association, and I know Kansas City was already welcoming them, but that's still the league to decide that. They also did announce that the salary cap, just like with the NHL, it's going to be flat, but keep in mind that there's a little more money at stake, as the league definitely gets more revenue, and they have a bigger TV deal, that their salary cap is going to be flat at $109 million, compared to $81.5 million for the NHL. But keep in mind, an NBA roster is half the size as well. But, this could give, some ideas on what the NHL is still shooting for. As I know with the NHL, they're still looking at January 1st for the start of the season. And then, unlike the Toronto Raptors, where they're the only Canadian-based team in the NBA, well, there's 7 Canadian-based teams in the NHL, and I am liking the idea a lot more every day. And I can go more depth on a separate video once you know more information on the NHL. But there's plans that there could be an all-Canadian division, and that the teams will only play each other all season. I'm going to assume with the NBA right now, as it's still vague on details, that the Players Association of the league have tentatively agreed. 72 games, start the season December 22nd, have the season done just in time for the Summer Olympics, if there is going to be a Summer Olympics. Keep in mind it was supposed to happen this summer, but for obvious reasons it did not happen. But that gives the opportunity for potentially players, because I understand that NBA players are allowed to participate in the Olympics again as well, so that's why they keep that open. I actually like the idea that the NBA should consider this permanently. Obviously, when everything's get back to normal, I would say start the season in December, have full 82 games, or even start it just before Christmas, because I know that's their big day, and there's been more games featured on Christmas Day, and obviously it's about getting TV revenue as well. That I think the NBA, they should consider starting the season later, so they can have a little more time in the spotlight. I mean, a lot of time, the NBA and the NHL, their seasons overlap, especially the playoffs, where the Stanley Cup Finals and the NBA Finals happen at the same time. But I'm getting at is that it would be nice if maybe the NBA started their season a little later, is that they could have more time in the spotlight in the U.S., especially after when the NFL playoffs and the Super Bowl is over, that you're still, in the middle of the season after the Super Bowl. And then the deadest week of the sports calendar is, when the Major League Baseball has their All-Star break. There's no sports going on. I would think that could fill that dead air with the NBA playoffs. And then the fact that I think, you might still get, potentially have a baseball game in the afternoon and the basketball game in the evening as well, especially at the start of the season. But that's just my personal take. But I think the NBA is still able to get more games in just because of they can compress the schedule a little more. Because the games are short and obviously it's less contact compared to hockey. When I get more updates on hockey updates, I'll obviously will make more videos, but I think more than likely when it comes to the NHL this upcoming season, if they're still targeting January 1st to start, and obviously the Winter Classic that was supposed to be scheduled to be in Minnesota, I believe, in 2021, and the All-Star game that was supposed to be in Miami, Florida, or Sunrise, Florida, where the Panthers play is out of the books this year, that I think at most the NHL would get 50 or 48, 50, 60 game season in. If the NHL is looking to start January 1st and then have the Stanley Cup awarded, by, let's say, the end of June, like previous lockout shortened seasons, as well, it's always that Olympics. You gotta, try to get concluded in time for the Olympics. Not only because the NBC has the rights holder for showing the Olympics in the U.S. Well, I think they'd rather show that than, basketball or hockey. And just, you gotta look at the 2021 season, 22 season, where it'd be nice if it could start normally. Hopefully, things will get better by then, where fans will be allowed in attendance. But, it's definitely encouraging that the NBA at least has some plans. You're on the clock, NHL. What's your plan? I keep hearing January 1st, but I just figure, last week I talked about the American Hockey League, that they're not looking at starting until February, because they're hoping that maybe pushing it back a little, that they can still get more fans in attendance, even with social distancing measures in place. Better than nothing, but the NBA is now struck that that they want to start, just before Christmas, and that's the critical thing. Get the eyeballs on their product, and obviously to stay relevant. But the NBA is also looking at possibly trying to get almost a full season in. I still think it was too ambitious. That I kept hearing that the NHL said that they still wanted 82 games, but not start to January 1st and then try to end it. If we were going to get 82 games, even if there is a bubble model, potentially, with 4 bubbles, and having, let's say, an all-Canadian division that you could, have back-to-backs, with rivalries on the weekends, I still think at most you're only going to get 48 to 60 games, just like lockout shortened seasons, and then have the 2 months of the playoffs. But that's how I'm trying to compare the two with the NBA. That the NBA has their plan in place, trying to play, but there's still other details they need to work out. But this could build a framework for the NHL as well. So I just want to say, what do you think about the NBA's plan, and how could this affect the NHL, or figure out their return to play plan for the 2021-20 or the 2020-21 season? This is all about trying to get as many games in as possible, so that 2021-22 season will start, back when it's supposed to normally start. So as I say, if you want to follow along with this Calgary sports fan's journey, home the Flames, Hitmen, Roughnecks, and Stampeders, I mostly do talk Calgary sports on my YouTube channel, but I do casually follow the other major leagues outside of Calgary, including the NBA, for example. I guess you could say the Toronto Raptors are my team, as they're Canada's team, and still looking good and competitive right now. even though sadly they weren't able to defend this champions this year. But it was fun to see them win it back in 2019. But I also do have personal logs, attempt to comedy, and I also do share my experiences. Let's say I'm on the road at a sport event. So if that all sounds like you'd be interested to watch, to follow along with this Calgary sports fan's journey, you know what you need to do, just make sure you like, subscribe. I also have my other social media links down in the description below for other ways you can follow me. So hopefully, this means a sign that here we are in November. If the NBA has already put up plans on having games starting just ahead of Christmas, and the NHL is still looking at New Year's Day, that could we finally get some basketball and hockey as well to look forward to. As you know, right now the NFL playoff season is still going along, but it's just not quite the same with the current environment right now. But I am still starved for my other sports as well. So as I say, I'll see you in the next video.